Dynamic braking. General description. The locomotive is sometimes equipped with a dynamic braking system. Additional to standard air braking system, dynamic braking is controlled entirely by the throttle and reverse. The engine involved with retarding the train and the dynamic brakes and dissipated with the electrical equipment instead of the brake shoe. At such time, the traction motor acts as the generator driven by the locomotive to reduce the wear, the tear of the brake of them. The shoes of the long descending grades eliminates the delays which otherwise necessary for the cooling wheels of the shoes. The application of the automatic brakes of the cars and train are possible at all times, regardless of the setting of the dynamic braking. However, the air brakes are interlocked with the electrical circuits, so that it is impossible to make the automatic application brakes of the locomotive during the dynamic braking. Emergency applications must be made by the automatic brake at any time, although in some cases power knockout devices must first automatically interpret the dynamic braking circuit. The operation of the dynamic braking will not function unless the dynamic braking cutout switch to the dynamic braking position is closed. It is generally left in that position. If no dynamic braking cutout switch is incorporated, the fan relay cutout switch to separate its head of the electrical devices driven fans of the brake resistor. They operate the automatic circuit. The defective braking circuits are automatic kept in initiative. The usually braking procedure summarized also follows the reduced throttle of the off waits until the 10 seconds before the settling controls the dynamic braking motor reverse lever the dynamic braking position if there are more than one such of one corresponding director of travel trip of the small latch under the lever is necessary to release it. Place the throttle and first notch of the ammeter reading of the obtained of the advance gradually until the desired amount of the dynamic braking is obtained, but is to keep the ammeter while the normal operation range of the dynamic braking overloaded while the given indication of the braking current becomes the excessive throttle should be retarded sufficient and the extinguishing light forward the additional braking effort needed for the usual automatic air brake application. Most may be in simultaneous drain brakes do not functionally air at all. All air brakes alone may be used as usual manner to resume normal operation. First move the throttle to the off, next move the reverse lever the position corresponding to the direction of travel. The use of the air brakes of the throttle to use the regard of the conditions set forth in the following important paragraphs. Dynamic braking differs greatly for the air braking, therefore they require special attention by the operator in order to handle the train smoothly. The field train is best obtained for only the experience of the best in the principal fact to remember that the train is bunched and the dynamic braking at the very low speeds. Dynamic braking effort fades out and the air brake must be used to complete the complete stop whenever the dynamic braking causes either because of the low speed fade out and because the engineer no longer desires the brake. Be careful to avoid the quick run out of the head end of which may sufficient force damage the drawbars. Dynamic braking is not effective if above certain maximum speeds. Check out the speeds in which the locomotive move is posted in the cabin. The braking is needed at the high speed as used. The air brakes as the speed fails for the dynamic braking range. Supplementary information. The following miscellaneous information may be useful operation personal times, especially if they must investigate irregularity problems in operation. The trains, the electrical connections are controlled by the system of the relays of the functional automatically with the foreign controlled manual controls are operated. The action is mainly as follows. A. The traction motor field is disconnected with the armature. The armatures are connected with the dissipating resistor. The fields are connected with the generator. The fans will cool down the braking resistors automatically connected with the traction motor armature. The fan and railing and preventing the complete change over the dynamic braking circuits. These fans do not operate after the braking circuit is established. Advance with the throttle increase of the braking effort. The effective action both engine speed of the generated field strength and increasing either both of these variables will increase the generator output of the traction motor fields. The traction motor field, the strength is increased by the dynamic braking effort is increased. The locomotive wheels are frequently slided and subjected to both dynamic braking and air braking at the same time. A braking interlocking valve function automatically to prevent simultaneously application of the dynamic brakes and automatic brakes on the locomotive. Other protective devices may be installed according to individual specifications connected with the indicating the operating and failure to the fans dissipating resistor and avoid the dynamic braking unit to the trouble of the rectifier. Do not use dynamic braking. Wheel slip buzzers sounds continuously with intermittent surroundings may be disregarded. Throttle may be advanced as soon as the discharging during the changeover into and out of the brake necessary to again return to the off position, potentially clear the protective interlocking devices. If there's no dynamic braking effort, check the dynamic braking cutoff switch of the fan relay cutoff switch. Depending on the installation is in the correct position, check the traction motor cutoff switch in the correct position. Check the braking resistor fans in the brake relay. Operating difficulties causes denotes usually to multiple unit equipment only. Engine does not turn when the starting the button is pressed. The starting button is pressed. The battery switches open. The control switch is open. Except for the multiple unit locomotives, the engine control switches to the wrong position. Multiple unit switches in the wrong position, and the engine turns. The butt is not fired, but does not continue running after the release of the start button. The fuel tank is empty. The fuel tank is empty. The emergency fuel cutoff valve is tripped, and the reset overspeed. The stop. The high trips reset over restart the button for before lubricating oil pressure has built up to 19 pounds. Low fuel oil pressure, insufficient oil supply, and the government multiple unit switch does not correct position. Engine control switch is in the wrong position. Engine does not respond to the throttle setting. Low control air pressure. Low main reserve air pressure to control air cutouts to the clock of the close. Control air pressure, reducing the valve stick in the try. Tapping it, and governor linkage disconnected. Ground relay closed, and hot engine has tripled in temperature switch. Forward locomotive does not move the reverser and forward the reverse position. Auxiliary generator fiddle switch to all traction motor cutouts. Check out the switch of the handbrake still set. Pneumatic throttle switch open. The starter contactor stuck in the front closed position. Control lighting braking in the cabinet open. 5. The engine stops. Overspeeding stop has tripped the reset, notifying the maintainer if it continues the tripping. Lubricating oil pressure causes the engine shutdown device to operate. The emergency fuel cutoff valve has tripped the reset of the fuel tank and empty. The engine control switch is wrong position. And the low fuel oil pressure and fuel tank is empty. Emergency fuel cut out of the valve tripped to reset the sticking of the relief valves. Trying and tapping them. Faulty pump. The low lubricating oil pressure. The low lubricating oil. The clog pressure. Strain of the turn of the handle. The strain of the 2 revolutions. The closed direction. Sticking the relief and tapping them in the hot diluted oil. The faulty pump of the leak lines clogged the heat exchanger. 8. The engine overheats. The lower water level. Faulty radiator shutter controls. The radiator fans can function properly. And see page 41. The water pump is non-function properly. Air pressure too high pressure and too low. The compressor governor and cutout and the cock closed. The compressor governor sticking out and trying to tap into the battery. Ammeter shows the discharge engine running. Auxiliary generator field switch is open. Auxiliary generator power switch is open. Power contacts on the battery contactor, the reverse current relay, and the voltage regulator. Note that always notify when an operating difficulty and experiences with the trouble has been created by the above suggestions. Humping controls, if installed. The locomotive is equipped with auxiliary control with the designed humping services necessary to operate the diesel engine and top speed and ensure they apply the cooling of the traction motor whenever the heavy loaded and lower speed prevailing in humping. And variable rheostat beside the master control is used to regulate the attractive effort of the locomotive's speed while throttling in advance to meet the foregoing requirements and connected with the exciter field circuits, decreasing the excite strength of maybe 3 rheostat as a result of the corresponding increase in the locomotive speed and the power. For humping the operation of the rheostat, so properly resistant added the field circuit. The few different operations may be determined by the experience and desire to obtain the maximum possible tractive effort without causing the wheels to slip. With the reverse lever in position for the desired direction, travel, advance the throttle to the full engine speed. Leave the throttle wide open, regulate the power of the rheostat, resume the regular service of the rheostat in the off position. The rest is an index and a blank page.